Hello, I'm doing a walking Diane's Makerspace today on May 18th, 2025 in Racine. One thing I did regarding an AI method I use to develop intelligent thinking systems is I developed a method on how to rate football players, defensive players especially, on a point system similar to a quarterback rating. What I did is I contacted the local football club and seen if they're interested in what their viewpoints are, because I was able to compare different players, how they perform season to season, and compare different players against each other on the defensive side. So you can actually do like basically a form of defensive player. This is different from the old stack key because it uses my ITS method. And also, it's a dynamic method, so you could use it to do game to game or even during the game, like that, though. The interesting thing what I did, though, it's interesting how much you can do AI, what some people would call old technology, because this AI was actually developed last night. I just had an idea. I pulled out my old TI-59 programmable calculator. Yes, programmable calculator, which is like a machine code calculator, but it's based on the algebraic operating system. And I did the mathematical AI workout using pen and pad. Now, why is this important? Because what happens though, although we use LLMs for AI and we use tokenization for AI, it's also important to be able to know how to do this on a manual basis, how to use paper and pen, because I could have done this through LLM, maybe I could have done this through LLM, I don't know, or maybe tokenization. But it would cost a lot of tokenization, it would cost a lot of CPU time. But basically knowing how to do a paper and pen, it cost me only about 1 hour human time. So my point is, human time is still more efficient than AI time. And the issue is, I think AI has some things, but I do agree with 2600 Magazine that articles should not be submitted that are written by AI. It's one thing if you use it for spell correcting or minor grammar corrections, but articles should not be submitted for AI. And Grad 2600 has that policy, and I support them. I actually sent a copy of that policy to President Trump when he first came into office, hoping that basically that they would consider that policy too, like that. The other thing about using programmable calculators and using systems like Lazarus and even my AI models, KAN, Kaneki Artificial Network, basically 1 and 2, my ParseMake system, which is my early version of tokenization, developed in the 90s, KAN developed in the 80s, ITS developed in the 80s and expanded through the 90s all the way up to 2000, including my AlphaGo, which was developed in 2003, which later I developed into BetaGo, which is where you had Go playing with 3 players on the board. And then I developed into ThetaGo, where you had Go played on the 3-dimensional level with 3 different players, and you could select 7 different attributes of strategy. So, with this AI that I developed last night using the TI programmable calculator, TI-59 programmable calculator, and paper and pen, it still shows how much you can do in AI when you understand the process and the problem that you're working with. And this was done in about an hour. I'm trying to show this to a local football team when we get a chance to meet, and allows you to rate defensive players and I can rate it for any position. In addition, I can also do a special rating for offensive players as well, because most of the time it's just a quarterback rating, but I can do it for guards, tackles, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, punt returners, kick returners, and all that. So, what my point is, there are many forms to do AI. However, the thing is, AI has to be useful, and also AI has to be that basically it's not CPU intensive, because my dad always had a rule. If you could do something in less than a certain scale of time that takes to do manually, you do it manually. You don't use a computer. My dad had a certain rule, like, for example, if something cannot be improved by a computer by a great factor over 10, then it shouldn't be computerized. And this is an example with this AI. If I were to computerize, I'd still be working on code, still be working on debugging, still be doing this and this. But what happens, those of us who still know how to use paper and pen, programmable calculators, machine code in a way, as you think of it, but based on the algebraic operating system, also an HP 48 to use this RPM operating system, I think you get further. Well, let me know what you think. Best way to reach me, as I said before, is on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Pinterest. And thank you for listening. This has been Diana's Makerspace.